distinguished Prime Minister Silva from Cape Verde, and distinguished Prime Minister Dida from Guinea-Bissau, and Prime Minister Rosario from Mozambique, and Costa from Portugal, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's my great honor to have everyone here in the beautiful city of Macau to attend the Forum for Economic and Trade Cooperation between China and Portuguese-speaking countries. On behalf of the Chinese government, I would like to extend a warm congratulation to the opening of the forum, and also would like to have a sincere welcome to all the guests from all the way to Macau, and also appreciate of your long-term support of development and cooperation between the Sino and Portuguese-speaking countries. People who had visited to Macau, a bridge actually is the mainstream or a key pillar in Macau, no matter in terms of economic matters or people's daily life. Bridge play a very essential role. A friendship bridge that established in 2004 between the China and Portuguese bridge, that is the longest bridge. And also the newly established Hong Kong, Macau and Zhuhai bridge also break the record as the largest cross-ocean bridge. For Macau, we also have an even longer bridge that between China and Portuguese-speaking countries in terms of the Economic and Trade Cooperation Forum. This is an intangible bridge based on the ties of language and culture, and also with the big theme of economic and trade cooperation, and looking for realize the common priority, prosperity and development. And we also based on the platform of Macau in order to further boost the communication tie and exchanges between the China and Portuguese-speaking countries, and of course Macau will play an even larger role in this regard. Last year, the volume of trade between the member countries is nearly reached $100 billion US, and China is also one of the key trade countries among the Portuguese-speaking countries, and also a faster growth trade destination. And right now, we have more than 1,000 enterprises owned by Portuguese countries in mainland China, and we also have a very large amount of trade that's nearly 50 billion, and also the construction projects is also mounting. We also have witnessed a very sharp growth and fruitful results in many regards. Based on the Forum Macau, we also deepened and also have a frequent exchanges and cooperation in many sectors. We also deepened the high-level exchanges of government, and also have a lot of different various cooperations in different regions and countries. And we also have a rapid growth in terms of tourism to the Portuguese countries. And we also have seen a marked growth in this regard. And also we have found emerging growth in the universities that have the degree of Portuguese. So right now we have more than 20 universities offer these courses, and we also have 17 Confucius schools in Portuguese countries, like the samba dance, Liangzhu, and a lot of different music and art forms in both countries actually bring an even closer tie between people to people, and also make people know each other more better and strengthen the emotional ties. Right now, given the situation, like the world economy is still sluggish and there are a lot of difficulties in the global finance, and the global economic and trade is still slowly, and all different kinds of protectionism is severe, which also bring a very difficult situation to all countries' economic development. For the G20 this year, held in Hangzhou, China, the old countries actually reached a very solid agreement that we want to be more open and against any kind of protectionism. China and Portuguese-speaking countries actually own 17% of the global trade volume and 22% of the world population. We have our own advantages, and we also in the very key ports or the geographic region on the Belt and Road Initiative. We are very high level aligned in strategies based on the transformation. Actually, there are a lot of new demand. And China with the Portuguese-speaking countries, we want to even solid foundation in economic development and join hand to build the friendship, cooperation, best practice in terms of the different cultural background and policy background. We also need to further deepen our mutual trust. I think right now we are at a very good time in terms of the diplomatic relations. We should treat each other equally, and based on the win-win situation, we need to further exchange our high-level official exchange and support each other in the international affairs, and also develop a long-term, healthy, and stable friendship, cooperation, and partnership. We also need to further boost the facility of trade and the economy. Right now, there are a lot of twists and turns in the global economy, but the trend is always forward. And it's unreversible. So we need to further increase the efficiency of labor, and also extend the size of the economy, and provide choices of merchandise for people, and also align with people's basic interests of all countries. China would like to even further open the market with Portuguese-speaking countries, and also have a greater cooperation in terms of customs, and have a good protection in intellectual rights. Not pursuing a trade surplus with Portuguese-speaking countries. We actively assist 97% of the merchandise with zero tariff, and we also encourage the import from the Portuguese-speaking countries. And another thing is we can also cooperate in terms of industrial production, so we can build a very good foundation in the product capacity cooperation, in the infrastructure cooperation. We can also offer the equipment that can offer a very good cost efficiency products. For the better cooperation on production capability cooperation, we can realize a win-win situation for all the member countries. During the conference this time, we will sign a lot of agreements and memorandums in this regard. China would like to play an active role and also utilize the Silk Road Fund and also the 18 funds to make as a refinancing or financing platform to make a big project feasible. The product capacity cooperation can be achieved between bilateral or multilateral cooperations. China and Portugal have already conducted a very successful third-party cooperation. And we would like to see more, not just single or one-time case. We want to make it more sustainable and also can be realized in different areas in different countries. People-to-people exchange is also on our top agenda. We should also strengthen our cooperation in science and technology, health, sports, youth, tourism, to make the people-to-people exchange as our new highlight in our cooperation. And China will continue to help China, Africa, and also Portuguese-speaking countries to upgrade the infrastructure for education and also build a Chinese culture center in the member countries. And through the South-to-South cooperation and also the Forum Macao training center to have more cooperation in terms of human resources. China and the Portuguese-speaking countries have abundant tourism resources, and we would also like to give more opportunity for Chinese people to the European countries as their tourist destination. And we can also have more cooperation in this regard in terms of the tourism exhibition. So we should better utilize Macau as the platform and bridge. Macau actually enjoy a very good, unique advantages in terms of the Chinese and Portuguese language, a very good infrastructure and trade environment. That's a very essential, crucial tie to bring the two sides together. And the Chinese government fully support the Macau ICR government to rapidly establish the service platform for Chinese and Portuguese-speaking countries entrepreneurs, enterprises, and also the services for SME companies, as well as the logistics center. The Forum Macao will support the international investment and construction summit in terms of infrastructure construction, and also the ministerial conference in this regard in Macau every year. And we also would like to initiate the economic and trade comprehensive platform and also the trade fair, as well as cultural exhibition, information exchange, integrated conference to make Macau as a new remark in our cooperation between China and Portuguese-speaking countries. I just finished the inauguration of the landmark, and people and high officials attended the ceremony. And I would like to say, this new integrating body can play a greater role to support the Macao Forum and also the cooperation between the two sides. Ladies and gentlemen, Chinese government really attach a great importance in the cooperation between the two sides, and we also give a lot of support in this regard. After initiating of the forum, and the two sides have already signed the agreement that reached 6 billion RMB, and we reduce the debt undue, and we also help to train the many talents from the Portuguese-speaking countries, and the 8 new measures from the last meeting has already carried out. I would like to say for the next 3 years, Chinese government will give even stronger support and release 18 new measures and initiatives, including to provide no less than 2 billion RMB assist for the developing countries. That's a 2 billion yuan aid to improving agricultural facilitation of trade and economy, the medicine research of the developing countries of the Portuguese-speaking countries, and we also will provide 2 billion yuan preferential loan to promote the industrial capacity cooperation and promote infrastructure construction. And we will also get rid of 500 million loan for the countries, non-developing countries. And we will continue to provide 200 paramedics to support the member countries to establish corresponding hospital cooperation and to have the more cooperation in this regard. And we also provide 2,000 training personnel and also 2,500 people per year to give the government scholarship. We encourage the enterprises to establish or upgrade several the overseas economic cooperation zones in the member countries to help them to establish maritime research in terms of the environmental protection, and will also establish the financial service center in Macau, the entrepreneur service center, and also the cultural center, as well as the education center for the Chinese and the Portuguese language center. And with all the new measures I just announced, China and Macau especially will play a greater role in terms of support and facilitation. Ladies and gentlemen, all our friends also pay a closer look on the development of Chinese economy development. Given the sluggish of global economy growth, and also we have the deepened conflicts and long-seated problems within China, the Chinese economy still operate within a reasonable range, and we continue to focus on the upgrade of our economy, and our growth still rank the top levels, and we maintain the growth rate around 25%. The first half of this year, the growth rate of Chinese economy reached 6.7%, as the economy volume is over 10 trillion. We can tell it is not easy to achieve this record. The growth of 6.7% actually is even larger than the two-digital growth in the previous years. And the growth is larger than 8 trillion. That is equivalent to a medium-sized economy. The growth momentum is still going on for the second half of this year, and we also have seen a lot of new results. And for some index that slowed down a little bit in previous, right now is also turning to a healthy trend. For the industrial growth trend, the efficiency of companies is starting to get back to the right track, and the social expectations also is towards the positive side. Overall, the growth of China's economy, let's say even for the Q3 this year, is better than our expectation, especially for the employment. For the first 9 months of this year, the newly employment of the urban hit a record low, and for the September, we conducted the survey in the 31 cities in terms of the unemployment rate, and that rate is even lower than 5%, which is the first time we hit this low record. For China, with 1.3 billion people, a stable growth, which means we have a very good growth stability and also make new breakthroughs. But still, there we have a big pressure on the downward of economic development. We need to maintain the overall stable of economic growth and the volume of economy, and we're also actively working on the supply side transformation. And a lot of media overseas had some discussion over the topic of real establishment, the housing issues in China. I would like to say we should see it from the bigger picture, and in the full picture, actually, the risk is controllable. The loan structure actually is not that balanced. For the Chinese government, actually, we maintain the level as low as possible, and it's also quite low in the global scenario. For the local government, that's a little bit higher than the central government, but it's more regular and under control, and also that amount of the leverage ratio actually used for the infrastructure construction, and it also can be receive the returns in the future. The leverage ratio actually is non-financial companies. For that part, it's a little bit higher. For the Chinese capital markets developed history is still quite short. For the people's saving ratio is higher than 50%. The financing structure dominated by banks as quite a big part. So you have more debts domestically than internationally. So the overall risk is manageable. And the liquidity is sufficient. And for the commercial banks, although the non-performing loans a little bit increased, but that's still much lower than the global average. And we also have quite strong recovery stability capability in this regard. And we will also extend the direct financing proportion to bolster companies through the M&A, and also reduce the leverage ratio for non-financing companies. And for the real estate market, for the new urbanization, will experience a long journey. The demand for housing is still rising, given the different situation in the housing market. We will strengthen, and we are doing it, to make the policies based on the different situation of different cities and different situations, and make sure we fulfill people's basic needs of housing. And we will also practice effective measures in line with a national situation and a local situation to make sure a healthy and a stable development of housing market. Overall, we have fully confidence to realize and hit the main target of economic and social development, and we also will not have the financial risks in the system, and also laid a solid foundation for next year's economic development. In the recent years, the reason of why Chinese economy can realize a good and solid development, and we highly based on the new ways of conducting our macroeconomy, and we continue to delegate the rights to different levels, and also have promoted a very good way of the mass entrepreneurship and innovation. And the new emerging market body, every day we have 40,000 new enterprises every day, and we also have 12,000 entrepreneurs registered every day. And for the first 8 months, we have 50,000 new enterprises registered. We have a new emergency enterprise market coming out, and a lot of traditional market is upgraded, and we also see the new momentum for these markets, and also driven by the double engine. The creativity of the society is huge. So the potential of China's economic development is also massive. We have fully capability to make sure the Chinese economy can develop with a mid to high level development towards a mid to high level, mid to high levels. Thanks to the openness and development, we will be open more of our market. Today in our Forum Macao, to have the economic and trade cooperation between China and Portuguese-speaking countries, remarks that the openness of the Chinese economy actually will million people, which also bring the benefits to all the people's countries of our member countries. For the Chinese people, we're always saying, like, we will know each other much more and in depth through a long-term cooperation. The time will tell that China and Portuguese-speaking countries are reliable partners. We can rely on each other, we can trust each other. With the joint efforts, we will drive the friendship cooperation and share view and votes, and that we can drive to a further and prosperous future. Thank you very much.